So in 41, you graduated high school. 44, you got married. 45 or 6, you have your first house with Jack. And in 48, Gary's born.
Yeah, I didn't have to get married.
Yeah, he didn't have to get married, no. So you were in Buffalo when Gary was born.
Yeah.
And
I was pregnant, but nobody knew it but us. I was working at the grocery store, and my cousin, they had a girl, and she had chicken pox. And they come down to see us and said, "We hope you've had the chicken pox. We're tired of staying home." I took the chicken pox. And
that's scary for a pregnant woman.
Well, they don't know what they know now, so I laid in bed for 3 months.
3 months with the chicken pox. Yeah, that's
from the chicken to keep from miscarrying.
Yeah.
3 months.
Where was Gary born?
Woodward, Oklahoma. And what was going to happen? They was afraid that I was going to have the afterbirth first.
Yeah.
And he'd be dead.
Yeah.
And back then, I have to laugh when I think of it now. They go home the same day. Then I was there a week while I was hemorrhaging, and they brought me home in the ambulance.
So you drove, or Jack drove you to Woodward from Buffalo.
The hospital.
Were you in labor during that drive?
No, while I was starting.
So, but you knew it was time to go.
Yeah.
Because that's not a short drive for a pregnant woman.
No.
That's a good little drive.
But just at the very last, when I was able to get up, because it was been okay then.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have another child. I always wanted a girl, but I guess it wasn't in God's plan.
Do you remember your doctor who delivered Gary?
Dr. Obermiller.
And were their family already at the hospital waiting on you, or were you and Jack first? You were there. Did it take long for...
Oh, yeah. I was in labor 18 hours.
Oh, 18 hours.
Yeah, Dr. Obermiller called him a miracle baby.
Yeah.
Because just at the very last, I had him.
So we'll fast forward a little bit. Let's put Gary in school. So Gary was going to elementary school in Buffalo. Is that right? When did was it Jack that worked at ODOT, Department of Transportation?
He did a little, not very many years.
But you worked there for quite a while.
About 26 years.
Yeah, quite a while. So while Gary was in school, first, second, third grade, what was Jack doing then? And were you staying home?
Oh, he was farming.
So he was farming.
And doing carpenter work. And if you got a job for $1 an hour, he was happy.
He didn't talk about the war, but do you feel like it was ever on his mind? Did he have bad dreams over it? Did he?
Yeah. And when 4th of July, when he first came, if those firecrackers went off, he just...
So he was still having effects of it years later.
He just didn't hardly talk about. I know one time he was, he'd ride in the Jeep, and he was riding the passenger side. And the guy that'd been riding in the back asked him, he changed that morning and ride in the back. Well, he had the, the bedroll by him. And the guy that was got in the passenger seat, a truck blew up and injured him, and we don't know whether he died from it or not.
But
that was how close it was.
Jack was safer in the back seat because of the seat change.
And he told me that, but he wouldn't talk very much about it. And if we'd read that diary, I was reading it out loud, and he didn't want me to.
This is his diary?
Yeah, I kept it the whole time he's gone.
Do you even know
where it's at?
No, do you even know any of the? You say Germany. Do you know any of the battles or areas he was in?
Well, no, I can't remember.
So a lot of that would be in the diary anyway.
Probably. I haven't read it for a long time, so I don't know.
What was Jack farming at the time?
Farming?
Yeah.
Oh, out in the country, wheat.
Wheat. Okay. So Gary was at Buffalo his whole life, right? High school, elementary, and high school.
Yeah. Then he went to Panhandle to college.
Okay.
And come down to Oklahoma City too.
And about what time did you buy the other house next door to your original house? Do you remember when that was?
I think he was about 12 years old.
So about 12. So that was sometime in the mid 50s, late 50s. Was that?
And it came from Kansas.
So it was moved as well.
Yeah, and we remodeled it.
And you lived there from mid 50s until about 6 months ago in that same exact spot. And now you're here in Oklahoma City at Hefner Mansions in an apartment. So how long, when did, I know Jack had a stroke.
Yeah. I took care of him for over 3 years.
So 3 years he lived after the stroke. When did he pass away?
Let me see. 88, I believe it was 88.
So late 80s. What did he?
Yeah, it was 88 because I retired in 86 to take care of him.
Do you know his parents' names and his siblings?
His mother's name was Julia.
What was Julia Cotter?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. It's in that Bible.
Yeah.
I can't think of. I never did have any in-laws.
So they were gone in
Yeah,
before 44 when you guys got married. Did he have brothers or sisters, Jack?
Yes.
Who were they? Do you remember?
There was, you met Dorothy.
Yes.
Her husband's dad. There was Rex and Roy and Paul and Ruby. And let's see, there was another girl.
These were big families back then.
Yeah, they
All those boys.
yeah. And I'm the only aunt left on the Cotter side, and I'm the only aunt left on the Painter side. I got more work cut out for me.
Well, being almost 95, you are the winner. Yeah, you. So when Jack passed away in 88, were you at the Department of Transportation when he passed away?
Oh no, I took retirement
I see.
so I could take care of him, because the last several months I had to have somebody come and
To the house.
take care of him during the day, and of course I had him overnight and the weekends, but it just got almost all I could take. And I talked to the guy that come for the veterans, and he told me, he said, well, I've got to admire you for trying to save money, but we'd have to pay for it if he went to Clinton.
Yeah.
And he said it'd be cheaper just to put him in a nursing home. And he said, or you can get a divorce. And I said, I'll never do it. I went out crying, and I said, I just wish you hadn't been in the war. Oh, he said, you don't wish that? I said, oh, yes, I do. You just think I don't. And he had high blood pressure, and they had to put it down because they have to give you insurance. So they put down that it wasn't as much. So they.
Oh, I see. So they falsified his blood pressure. I see.
That's right.
So tell me, from 88, and what year did you marry James Wilson?
92.
So you had known James at your time at
Oh, yeah.
ODOT,
Yeah.
right?
For over 30 years.
And so James and Jack probably knew each other.
Yeah, and Gary even knew him.
So you get married in 92 to James Wilson, who he was originally from Guyman, is that right?
Well, no, he was originally from Ralston,
Ralston, okay.
but he moved to Guyman.
And he had never been married and had no kids. And
Neither one of them.
yeah. And so James also was a veteran
Right.
of World War II. What outfit was he with?
11th Airborne.
And you went to many reunions
Right.
with the 11th Airborne through the
Right.
years, right? So did he talk a little more openly
Oh, yeah.
about his time?
Yeah, he would talk.
He jumped. He was a paratrooper, and he
Right.
jumped in the Philippines and helped
And-
rescue those captives, right?
And he could have got what is it you get, but he wouldn't accept it.
A commendation, a Silver Star, or something like that.
And he wouldn't accept it.
Huh.
He said no, he wasn't that bad hurt.
So was James already retired as well?
Oh, yeah.
So you guys both were retired, get married in '92, and you start traveling immediately. I know you guys
not very long, and fishing.
and fishing. And James passed away.
It'll be 5 years this June.
I was going to say 4 or 5 years ago. So you've had two husbands, both war veterans, and obviously outlived them both. And you're coming up on 95. What do you think you could tell yourself in those years, in the 30s and 40s? If you could go back and tell yourself something about today and the differences you see, what do you think you'd say? What would shock that girl in the 1940s?
Technology.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Technology.
Sure.
I wished I could use a smartphone, but I can't. I'm not smart enough.
I bet you could. Well, Jolly, thanks for telling us your story. And
do you want me to look and see what I've got on here? I might want to.
Yeah. Look.
Okay. Oh, I've got my folks raised cattle and hogs and always a garden. I told you all that. Like I said, we always had plenty to eat. And I will always be grateful that my folks gave me told me about the Lord. The folks farmed with horses. We never had any electricity or water. They didn't get electricity until after I was married and gone from home. And
is your original home still standing?
no, the land sold and they buried it.
I see.
I went out. I couldn't hardly stand to go out there, but I did. I remember my dad's car. I thought it was funny, but he didn't think it was. If you come up to a hill and didn't have enough power, he had to turn around and back it up. He didn't think it was very funny, but I did. It was kind of funny when you'd milk. Of course, we always had a bunch of barn cats. Squirt that milk at them. You kind of made your own entertainment.
So this story you're reading is something you've been working on for a while?
Oh, I did that a long time ago. I don't know why those cars wouldn't do that unless the gas went back some way. I don't know why. I thought it was funny, but it didn't.
If that fuel, if you tipped it too much.
When we used to go to, if us kids got to go to town, and my folks we didn't have any money hardly. And if I asked my folks for a nickel, I'd try to do it in front of my granddad. because I'd get it from him.
That's what granddads and grandmas are for.
Yeah, and he's the one that gave me the rocking chair when I was 2 years old.
Yeah, the rocking chair that Sophia has is...
That rocking chair is 95 years old. Or not 95, 93 years.
93, 94 years old.
Yeah.
And he handmade
He gave it to me when I was 2.
Yeah.
And he gave some of the other kids, but I don't know. I doubt if they have them. I'd probably still be standing up. My mother would whip me if I tore it up. But I've kept it all these years. At Christmas time, we usually got one present and then some candy. I can remember having a doll. Didn't last too long. I don't know what it was made of, some kind of stuff. But I had one doll. And but that's okay. We was happy. And a lot of other people was just like we were. They didn't have money either.
It was a different world back then.
And if you get together to kind of have entertainment, make candy or something, why, you'd all furnish the sugar and everything. And but church was something that we always went to. And we'd have parties at church, have taffy parties and stuff like that. But
do you remember the pastor's name of your Assembly of God church?
Well, I know Shelton's was one of them.
Shelton?
Yeah, they had 2 girls. And one of them liked to ride the horse, but her mother, I guess you'd say I lied, but she'd want to go with me sometimes, but her mother, be sure you just walk the horse. Okay. And I'd tell my mother, as soon as we get over the hill, we're not walking anymore. But the other one wouldn't have rode it if it had been a cushion on it. Well, it's pretty hard to hold on because, see, I didn't have a saddle.
Yeah. No? Did she?
She liked to ride too, so.
Do you remember any criminal, any bank robberies, anything happen in Buffalo or around your area that comes to mind?
But I know my dad's brother one time stole some wheat and he had to go to the pen.
Over stolen wheat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was way back. And it was kind of funny. James, after we was married, was telling me something about this lady. I said, I know her. He said, you do? I said, yeah, my uncle went with her. But and we didn't go fishing, but we used to go plumbing, make the sandhill plumb. We'd have the old truck and we'd take our lunch and go up and pick plums.
And you'd make jelly too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, jelly's pretty good.
I wished I still could. I gave my last juice away.
Yeah.
And because I was afraid I'd scald myself. Yeah, we'd take our lunch with us. And I can remember at one time the rats and stuff got so bad they had, I don't know where they came from. They kind of got their dogs and everything. I don't remember much about that. But I've shock feed.
Now what's that?
Well, they have shocks. You've seen these things standing?
Yeah.
Yeah. They call them shocks. And
they're
bundles of feed.
Yeah, bundles of, yeah.
I've done that too.
That's not an easy job.
I know what it is to work.
Yeah.
But
well,
I'm still here, so I guess it didn't hurt me.
It only helped you.
And my one time when I was at an auction, not very close and I wasn't very big, my sister got in a car and she didn't want me to come and get in it, so I got my finger in the hinge and of course it cut it almost off. Well, my folks took me to Ashland and had them to sew it back on. And if I didn't cry, I could have some ice cream. Big deal.
And you got some ice cream?
Oh yeah, I wasn't about to cry.
So were your when you were
This is it. It's crooked.
were you closer to Ashland than Buffalo?
About a mile or two.
So pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first year at Ashland, it come this big snowstorm, and my brother and my brother-in-law picked me up and brought me, and we got as far as my sister's and them house, and I had to stay there for a few days because you couldn't get out, and I rode a horse home. That's a bunch of cattle died and everything, and they don't have storms like they used to.
Yeah, you mentioned that. So you think it doesn't get as cold as it did, and
No.
it's not as dry.
No, and you couldn't hang meat somewhere, keep it for weeks and weeks, and just go out there with a knife and cut off a big steak. Boy, was they good.
Yeah. Yeah, so you do believe that it's not as cold in the winter.
I don't think it is.
Do you think it's wetter now than maybe then, or
I don't know
the
about
Dust Bowl probably?
I don't know about that, but I don't think it's now. I'm talking about in the area we lived in.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't think it is.
What about the heat?
Well, I don't remember that much.
No
but
big difference.
The cold, because I just remember how we had all that stuff, and now you couldn't have it froze one day and then 2 days later 80 degree and thaw out. You wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
And we kept it clean because we kept a clean sheet around it, and then you just go out there and cut off a slab and
Cook it up.
kind of like you fixed the other night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, any other memories you can think of that?
No, but I probably think of them later. But
Well, so I appreciate you talking with me, and we'll get this saved, and we'll always have this little video.
I never did have a bicycle I kept telling them. So finally, I'd been married a long time. Finally, I paid $5 for me a bicycle. It wasn't very good, and so I think they'd asked me what I wanted. I said a bicycle. After 40 years, Jack said, "Let's go to Woodridge. You might die tomorrow, and you better go get your bicycle." And I never even had a watch till I was married.
Wow.
We just didn't have anything
Yeah.
like that.
Watches and bicycles are quite the extravagant thing during those days, weren't they?
And the little wagon we had, my grandmother Painter, they gave it to us. When my grandmother Painter passed away, it was on New Year's Eve, and she said she heard somebody knocking at the door, and she went to the door and fell dead.
Wow.
So we often wonder, was that God knocking at her?
Who was knocking for her?
Yeah. Of course, they was living in Nebraska, but my aunt and them was up there. She was heavy set.
Do you have any family left in the Nebraska area that you know of?
No, I don't know of any.
Yeah.
Just friends up there. And we had some that my folks claimed as our relatives. They really weren't, and they passed away. And James and I went to their place, and he gave James a suit. Well, I give it away now, but it was a $high suit. He got crippled and he couldn't wear it.
Yeah.
And we always called them their folks' aunt and uncle, but they really weren't even. No, I don't have anybody except some friends up there now. And I think they was in this storm. And they used to have a lot of Sunday dinners. My folks would fix Sunday dinner for people, and the guy at Ashland at the bank, he's not the main one now there. He used to come down there to church because there was a girl there and he liked her. He'd come down there to church all the time. He was the main president of the bank up at Ashland for a long, long time.
Did he end up getting her?
No.
No?
No. It don't usually happen that way.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he always, has been a good friend to us, still is.
He's still living in Ashland?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see why I want to stay.
The Ashland Bank. Yeah, that's a good point.
No. And there was a lady that did work in there, but she's not anymore. But I knew her and her husband too. But anyhow.
Well, thank you, Jolly, for letting me do this. I appreciate it.
Well, I thank you for wanting to.
Absolutely. Thank you.